This is another Real Track production. Real Track, real.
I can see straight through the fuckery. Niggas know what's up with me. Yeah. Niggas know not to fuck with me. Real shit, only no fuckery. Thought that bitch wanna fuck on me, so she can go and tell that's that fuckery. If it ain't out there, that's the fuckery. I'm pulling back up with the fuckery. Yeah, bitch ain't no fucking me. You owe me, you ducking me, that is that fuckery. Yeah, stick on me ugly. Bitch ain't no touching me 30 for fuckery. Nah, that is that fuckery. That is that fuckery, fuckery. Yeah, that is that fuckery. That is that fuckery. Yeah. I can't let you pay me for a pussy. You owe me to pay me or I am a pussy. Yeah. You probably feel off, huh? But I can't let you feel like you took it. Nope. Not the way you had a nigga looking. Need my money on my work when I call you play hooking. Yeah. You ain't keep it G. You ain't keep it G, nigga. All you did is try to hit me with the fuckery, nigga. Yeah. Never about to hand feed niggas. No. I was just trying to feed niggas. Yeah. Cause I was just trying to eat, nigga. But I can't let you think I'm sweet, nigga. Okay. Yeah. I ain't type to live for beef, nigga. Nope. But I ain't looking just to please, nigga. Yeah. Got the pipe on my hip, got some pressure built up. I'm a motherfucker squeezing. Yeah. Man, fuck making peace with you. I'll try and make some cheese with you. Key ass, man, I feel like we equal. Pull up, old raggedy vehicle. I'm shooting at whoever be with you. I wouldn't wanna be with you. I'ma kill a nigga, smoke weed with you. Same nigga like to be a C with you. 30 round clip for your pussy ass. Then you get the picture. Thought this bitch wanna fuck on me. That ain't gon' happen though. Back in the trap and I'm stacking though. No time to chill with no ratchet hoe. Unless you gon' traffic though. No fuckery. Talk back, I smack her though. Tell that hoe pack the coat. Bitch, get your back and go get out the fucking door.
Oh, good evening. Mr. Nobody, what's happening? Good evening, everybody. Man, my diggity dang on internet running like I owe it some money. You hear me? Anyways. Hello, Miss Ava, Shelby, Lickety Split, Lion Mama, Mr. Nobody again, Ava, Rapper, what's up, buddy? Lila, hello, Graham, Cindy Lou Who, Megan Kelly, Sister Callie, Paisley, woo-wee, baby, Roswell, baby, Davina, thank you for becoming a new member, baby. You know it means the world to us. So, forgive me for being so absent. I have just been running the gauntlet, if you will. So I had a couple of things laid out, and I think more than anything, I'm just kind of searching for some answers, right? And maybe these people that are involved in this media can sort of restore it. We're going to start out with a little bit of the red truck stuff. I've been wanting to put this together, and I'll be honest with you, because I respect what Mr. Ryan did, I wanted to let it marinate. However, I could not give up the idea. I couldn't let go of the idea of what I have heard Michelle After Dark say. I was stuck on it when I covered it a month ago or 6 weeks ago, whenever it was. I listened to this stuff and I'm like, wow, she claims to have this insider source. And what she says is that the information about the red truck in the Summer Wells case, the same information that Janky's got or was spilling is the same. Hey, Flossie, what's up, baby? Is the same information that she received. So then when you take that and you multiply it and divide it by what by what Ryan figured out, or I got to preface it by saying whatever Ryan put out is not Ryan's opinion, right? That information was what he was given, and he covered it, and I felt like he covered it responsibly. He sort of left the end of it open, like he wasn't. It's like a telecommercial in the middle of the night, like, you know, the opinions represented here are not necessarily the opinions of the channel, right? It's just the opinions. Oh, dang. Okay. Thank you, Flossie. It's the opinions of the guest, right? So, Dippy, what's up, baby? Thanks for coming, a new member, baby. You know it means the world to me, queen. So we're gonna just jump right into it, right? Now, I was struggling with what I was gonna start with first, right? Now, the reason I originally was gonna call this stream, I was originally gonna call it Peas in a Pod. I was gonna call it Peas in a Pod because later on towards the end, I've got some Ernie Shell stuff, right? And I know Ernie Shell is he's all the rage, all the craze right now. Degenerate Lost just played his FOIA request. And I'll tell you this. It's absolutely despicable that even in the situation he is now, he still is not working on anything remotely connected to truth. And that's a whole Page the Moon. Thank you so much for gifting 5 Bitty Keys membership, baby. You don't mean the world to me, queen. Thank you, baby. 30 more days. Yeah. So I'm gonna dive into that. And then I have some stuff that, again, is not my opinion, but it comes from his sister. And I think that we've been able to sort of paint, not even paint. He's shown us the failure to disclose, right? So, anyways, I had an issue with what I was going to play first, right? It was like, what is it? The chicken or the egg, right? Which one's which, right? So, I guess I'm just going to dive right in to this here. Now, man, my internet is lagging, baby. Yeah, no, I get it. Let me see where I'm at with this charge here. Hold on. I can go a little bit. Let me move downstairs. It is just really, really lagging. I see the lag. It's crazy. Actually, let me try this because I'm doing a screen share to my iPad over here. Let me just unscreen share and see if that picks up the pace here. Doesn't seem to be any better, but we'll work with it. Let's go ahead and pull this down here. It's always something, ain't it? You hear me? It's always something. Okay. Let me do this here, and then we'll pull this down here and pull this over here. It appears to be a little better. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and try to swing here. I can't see the chat. That's really the only reason why I had a screen sharing. I had StreamYard over here and then my programming over here. So bear with me. Now, we're going to start out by saying again, and I want to reiterate because I was really torn on where to start, which one to start with. And I sort of landed on, well, I'm just going to start with Ryan's interview with Frank Hill. Now, I'm not going to lie. There were some things that he said. The thing that really stuck with me was his reference to remains. Now, I don't know anything about this guy. So what? Yeah, it seems to be. I have a nose hair there. makes me know never mind who Frank Hill is or who he isn't, right? But the one thing that really stuck with me was his reference to remains. And if we take it at face value and we understand that it could be any shade different than what he's relayed to Ryan, right? You really start to think, okay, if he relayed this information to the TBI and whomever else was there, if he relayed it to them exactly the way he's portraying it here, then he comes on the property potentially for a second time, and he makes his presence known, and he relays to them that, well, do they want to know where the remains is buried? And he says that comment and that comment alone, they sort of accept him into the circle, right? They accept him in. They're like, okay, he's here to work with us, right? He's here to do it. That part got you too, Ava. And then goes on. So then there's a clip in the call. Ryan comes back on, and then when he clips back to the call, he's talking about animals. Now, I feel like there's a completely different way to really to get that point across, right? You don't have to really sell it and wrap it and all these things in this terminology remains, because quite naturally, if they're knocking on the door, they looking for that. And so to really pick it apart, it's speaking only for me, I probably would have said something like, do you want to know where the compost pile is? Do you want to know where animal carcasses from the past are at, right? I just don't feel like I don't feel like we call animal carcasses remains, right? It just, that's not a word. And that's just for me. It's just my opinion. Raindrop, thanks so much for coming to New Member, baby. You know it means the world to me. I just don't feel like I've ever said, yeah, the squirrel's remains are in the middle of the road, or the dog's remains are in the backyard. It's just not the way that, you know what I mean? So I feel like also understanding that it probably that conversation didn't go exactly like that. Was what was Frank ramping this whole thing up because he knows it's going to be on the YouTubes? What is it? Does he feel important? Hey, Kyle, good to see you, buddy. Why is he referring to pig and horse and deer carcasses as remains? Right. Right. And that's just me. And maybe a few of you have that same opinion, but I don't refer to the bodies of animals as remains, right? So moving forward, I feel like that's like a very prim and proper way to say it, if you're going to say it at all. And I just don't feel like, coming from far East Tennessee, like that's the way they refer to it, right? I feel like they would refer to it as a carcass, right? Like that would be sort of the go-to, right? Anyways, let's go over here. Let's jump over here.
Because I have a big compost pile. They wanted to ask if they could search it, look at it, whatever. And I told them, have at it. Like, get it over with, get it done. I don't want to deal with all this. So
consent form and everything.
Yes, yeah. Full consent form. Like,
you just wanted them done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may have to jump down here where the net is faster. Hold the phone. It's always something, ain't it? I mean, I swear it's always something. Some of you may not know, I live in a very old Victorian home, and the walls are like that old concrete with the slats, and then they just put the drywall over top of it. So the signal doesn't just, anyhow, we'll go ahead and we'll step out here. The signal is usually really good out here. Okay. There you go. Sally says they refer to it as a carcass. Okay. That's, you know, that's how I would refer to it. I would refer to it as a carcass, right? So, all right, moving forward. One second, let me, there we go. Let's refresh this thing. It is still moving at a snail's pace. Okay. It is just this video. It does not want me to utilize it. Hold on. Remains for an animal would be weird. Yeah, Michelle. I mean, and again, that's just my opinion, but it just, man, let me go ahead and do this. Let me get rid of this tab and I'll go ahead and open it again separately. I understand that YouTube been being very, very strange. So, there, let's go here. History. This says I've got full bars. Okay, there we go. Yeah, sometimes it just wants you to re-engage it. Yeah, this video unless they're private. I'll be back. Okay, here we go. It is unlisted. This one, we're starting out with the red truck stuff. Again, I've been wanting to do this for a while. For anybody who who's listened, I mean, I was going to set it up for last week and just got busy. And so here we are. Oh, God. I say here we are. Let me step inside closer. I'm not one of them that's going to fight with it forever and ever. Amen. So where's our light switch here? Come in here and sit at the big man's desk. There we go. The big guy. Ugh. All right.
Everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
full consent form. Like,
You just wanted them done with it.
yeah, it was just.
Yeah, this is not what we're gonna do. Yeah, no, it just does not want. Does not want to play.
Because I have a big compost pile. They wanted to ask if they could search it, look at it, whatever. And I told them, have at it. Like, get it over with, get it done. I don't want to deal with all
afraid
this.
to even touch it.
So,
Consent form and everything.
yes,
Yeah.
full consent form. Like,
You just wanted them done with it.
yeah, it was just wasted my tax money, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we went out to my property
Hold on.
and they searched it. They ran several cadaver dogs.
Let's do here. Let's take the quality down a little bit.
Over it. I don't know how long it took, maybe an hour, I guess.
Okay.
And that was it. They were done.
While Frank's land was cleared in an hour, his father Paul's property was completely dismantled. Divers searched the pond, agents searched the house and the barn. They left behind a mess, but no.
Now I'm going to move it ahead a little bit. There we go. Red truck.
I got this other one.
Is that the black part's his? search warrant was for any documentation or parts pieces related to the Tacoma. That was what the warrant was for. He actually admitted that.
That is the
Well, that's what
only.
he told you.
This is the only thing that. Yeah.
Did they tell you at any point what the reason they had showed up?
He said related to the Summer Wells case.
Okay, that's all they said until that message when he.
Now, I do want to say this. I find this interesting because I think that if you know, right? But Ryan is local to there, right? And so I feel like he has a pretty good thumb on the pulse of what's going on. And where is it here? Hog remains. Not really interested in the crash stuff. From the mobile version, because sometimes it's different here. From the mobile version, he still had the 1-800 TBI for information about the red truck, right? Now, I understand that some of this stuff is just copy and paste, but garner from that what you will, right? Does Ryan think that this solves the ideal of the red truck? I don't know, right? But we're going to go ahead and move forward.
He admitted.
And that's because I interrogated him. I bugged him to the point
Noel,
that he
good
gave me
to see you.
something.
So where is
Thank
the
you for joining
truck
us.
now? Frank insists his father's truck never had a ladder rack and didn't match the Bolo or be on the lookout flyer. He also admits the truck is gone. And the story of where it went
Now, that's where I kind of hone in, right? Because when you go over here, where are we at here? Let me move this tab real quick. When you come over here, there's a lot of information that's different from what Ryan shares. Okay. A lot of information. Now, Ryan's saying that Frank says that the Tacoma initially does not meet the description for the Bolo. Why that's important is because later on in the interview with Frank suggests that there was some work done to the truck to fix it up, and that, well, we'll get to it.
involves a series of confusing updates
Hey,
by
Matt.
the TBI. Frank told me that the truck was sold to a local buyer first. He claims he even saw it a year later at a gas station in Baileyton.
Now, what's interesting about that is that as far as this deep in, there isn't a year mentioned when the vehicle was sold, only that a year later the vehicle was seen, right? Now, in the coverage by Michelle, Jenkins says that the vehicle was sold in 2022, right? Now, one thing that I've always said is that you have two kinds of people that could be driving one kind of truck, right? You have the person who, and I think that it's sort of context clues, right? If Frank Hill, and we're taking everything Frank Hill says at face value, right? We're taking it for face value because he has an intimate insider's knowledge of the truck. Now, could he be completely, possibly? No, ma'am. Talking about the red truck. So I always said, right, that in my opinion, because the YouTube had such an impact on all of this, that whomever had the truck, if they were in the area, they probably heard on the news, heard from people in the community, maybe even like so many people from the area do, they're watching this stuff unfold on YouTube, right? So you have, well, actually, maybe a third person. One person is, they know they've done wrong. and they're not going to come forward about the red truck, right? Somewhere in there, maybe there isn't a red truck, right? Maybe this red truck is not related. Secondly, you have a person who it would appear, if you take this for face value, and that this red truck info is what it's supposed to be, right? You have someone who is driving the red truck around, and maybe they don't know there's a bolo on it. Maybe they do and they don't care. But to just be driving the truck around and be seen in Baileyton is it is, I don't know, right? It's questionable, right? So I feel like if you still have the vehicle, you know that potentially it's being sought, right? And you're just driving it around in Baileyton, you probably don't have nothing to worry about, right? Right? Or you feel like you don't. Moving forward.
Fixed up with a new hood and a bed liner.
There were rumors going around about the Tacoma that the PI said it ended up.
Now, you just heard him say fixed up with a new hood and a bed liner. Okay? I will talk to you about that, Miss Noel. Thank you.
In South America. There's some rumors about it being.
Now, the vehicle entering into this pipeline where it could have potentially or allegedly ended up in South America, right? So this vehicle was not sold in like a car trader or truck trader. It was someone that approached the Hill family directly and it says, you know, essentially, I want this vehicle. Will you sell it to me? Vehicle's got 400,000 miles on it. It really has not probably a whole lot of resale value. And I think one of the context clues that you can read in between the lines is that if, and this is my opinion, if the Hills, well, those Hills, if they had anything to do with this situation and that this red truck was a part of the whole debacle, why would you sell it and lose track of it, right? You wouldn't want to sell this truck to somebody you know is just going to, I don't know, pop up at a gas station over in Baileyton, right? You wouldn't want to lose track of this truck. You would probably bury, not legitimately, but maybe legitimately, you would want to bury this truck somewheres, you know, where it's still within your reach. I don't know. Maybe you break it down, maybe you paint it, whatever the case may be. Right. So that to me starts to lend credence to the fact that the Hills and understanding that this search warrant was 2 months ago, whenever it was, and there's been no more movement on it, right? No one has been arrested. There's been no return visits that we know of. So it seems as if the Hills on that side are on the up and up. They have nothing to hide. Come on the property. Even though you got a search warrant, come on, right? Go look here. Go look here. Here's where we bury remains, so on and so forth, right? So to me, it really started to narrow down in my mind that either this isn't the truck or it is the truck. And that I think that I've heard some people, you know, potentially think that it's very fishy that this truck ends up in South America. Well, let me tell you what, here from Texas, it's not fishy. If we have a hurricane or we have a flood and cars get wet, guess what? They go south of the border and then they're reworked, right? So to me, it starts to feel less likely that those Hills on Van Hill Road had anything to do with it, right? They didn't find anything on the property that we know of, right? If there would have been something of the highest caliber in terms of evidence or forensics or physical evidence, they would have been arrested on the spot and they'd have been hauled in. And then this whole thing would be very, very different, right? So let's continue on with this a little bit.
Being sold at one point. What do you know about the truck? Just your own
I've
personal.
got factual information of what I've seen with my own eyes, and I have my suspicion of how it might have ended up out of the country if it did.
Now, what you got to understand is it was sold to a private buyer, and then whomever the private buyer sold it to, Mr. Hill, Randy, he believes the vehicle and says he has some sort of proof that this vehicle may have ended up in South America. Right now, let's move over here really quick. Let me go here and we'll go. Oops. There. Okay.
And he owned a red.
Shouts out to Ms. Jenkins as well. I've been told here, even since we've started the stream, that Miss Jenkins may have been diagnosed with the big C. So if you're a praying type, keep her in your prayers. Hey, crybaby, good to see you, baby. All right, moving forward. Now, you see right here, let me move back just. Now, I almost get the feeling that Michelle used the information that Jenkins had and then respun it like it was hers. Like, not just that it was hers, but that she received the same information that Jenkins did, right? Now, that's been a common thread with Michelle. She's oftentimes, in the very beginning, taken information, for instance, that I had, and then respun it like it was stuff she came up with on her own. Right now, I wouldn't be able to go right back and show you the video, which one she did, but I was just told over and over and over that that's what she did. And the fact that she would never give credit for where the information, and I'm not a credit-based guy, I don't care, but the fact that she didn't give credit to whomever the information originated or derived from, that it makes it seem as if it's hers. Or even she may have said that she procured this on her own, right? So
that was the same information that I was given by a credible source recently. This information I held back appears now to be out.
Now, what's interesting about this is that we're to believe Michelle has a restraint where she's going to hold something back. I covered a previous video where someone indicted her for just running with anything. And then what did she do? She ran with this whole blue Slurpee deal, right? And how some kids in the United States have become unresponsive after drinking glycerol in Slurpees, right? So she will run with anything. And I just feel like that she has no restraint. This is the thing. I don't know the timeline. I don't know when Jenkins came out with hers, but it was before Michelle came out with it, which is very interesting to me because I feel like the feeling is that Jenkins came out with it, Michelle grabbed a hold to it, respun it, and made it seem as if somebody sent her the exact same information. So because there's not a lot of players in between three-dimensionally, right? One could go so far as to assume, if there is this person giving information, right, that the same person that gave it to Jenkins is the same one that gave it to Michelle. I don't believe that at all, right? I do not believe that for one shade of a second.
I'll play the clip now.
Still kind of like, whoa, this is freaking me out. Said that Randy seen Summer that morning in the back of their truck sleeping. Well, Randy is a tree trimmer.
Now, forgive me if I've just missed it, right? In this Ryan Finds Truth segment, does he ever say he saw Summer Wells sleeping in the vehicle? Put a 1 in the chat. If anywhere we have heard him, Mr. Hill, say he saw Summer sleeping in the truck that day. Now, Randy, tree trimmer, maybe. I don't care. But what I do know is that the company that Randy works for is not the company that was trimming trees that day. Period. Right? So it's this morphing of what these people believe to be malleable details, right? No, not at this point. So I don't even know where Jankies came up with this, right? And I'm not being critical of Jankies because someone gave her the information, right? So let's run this back just a little bit.
Well, this is freaking me out. It said that Randy seen Summer that morning in the back of the truck.
That morning, right? Excluding all other mornings, to say that morning would be June 15th, 2021. So Randy, who is not a tree trimmer with the company that was originally there, for some reason, he's over there and he sees Summer sleeping in the truck. Randy has been interviewed by law enforcement and by Ryan, right? Okay, moving forward. Hey, Jada, good to see you.
This is freaking me out. It said that Randy seen Summer that morning in the back of the truck sleeping. Well, Randy is a tree trimmer, and he lived on Paul's his dad, right? Paul is his dad, and he owned a red Toyota Tacoma truck. The truck was sold in 2022.
No, 2022. So far as I know, there wasn't a year given on Ryan's stuff so far. Now, this is sort of a blind reaction too, right? I've listened to different waypoints in Ryan's interview with Randy, or with Frank. I'm sorry, I keep saying Randy. Frank, let me get that straight. I've heard different waypoints, right? Now, I don't want to say, hey, Rhonda, I don't want to say that people are just making stuff up. I really don't, because that would really be an issue if people were just making stuff up. But you start to get that feeling. I'm sorry, Ellie. I keep mixing these names up, and I'm done doing that. Thank you for joining us. We actually have a family member here in the house. Everybody say hello to Miss Ellie. Miss Ellie. Let's go back here.
Okay. But start with truck had like 400,000.
I'm telling you what, I'm about tired of this.
Miles on it. It was. These were not gentle miles. These were work miles.
Farm truck, right?
Yes, I'm talking like it was falling apart. The truck never went up for sale. Someone offered money for it, like they offered to buy it, and it went.
A private sale, not a public sale, a private sale. Now I've already, for anybody that maybe just came in, I've already explained my feeling on even selling the truck at all, right? If it's involved in the disappearance of Summer Wells, you don't want to sell it to just anybody that might pop up at a gas station in Baileyton, right? All they did was change the hood, right? So let's go back over here.
And they hunted it down. Actually, Ziggy talked to another one of the tree trimmers, and that tree trimmer said there was a couple tree trimmers there. They asked her, Randy who? And he's like, I can't remember his last name, and da-da-da-da-da. Randy who? And he was one of the tree trimmers.
Seeing as the information is out, well, I'm going to confirm that from a credible source.
I do not know what is going on with this.
Source, I heard.
So here we go with the I heard, right? Now that it's out, I'm going to go ahead and share it, right? The only thing that she can say is that she got the exact same information. Well, she didn't say exact, but that she got the same information and that it comes from a credible source, right? I don't care who that credible source is because I feel like it's been misrepresented up until this point, and that very few context clues have been used to even decide the fate of it, right? You don't have to have a whole lot of foresight and a whole lot of hindsight to be able to read between the lines and say, hey, listen, right? If this is the truck that's been used, why sell it and lose control of it, right? Once you lose control of it, if they just happen to stop this person and say, hey, where'd you get this truck? What do you know about this truck? Is this your truck? This truck matches the Bolo for this, and it's this, and it's this. What do you got to say, right? And that's an immediate link back to Frank, right? And Paul and all of that stuff on Van Hill, right? That isn't the criminal sophistication that I think one would expect to hear or find out at this point about the exchange of the vehicle from this hand to this hand, and then from this hand to whomever the buyer was that may have allegedly taken it down south, right? So it's all conjecture, right? It's credible. When you put the word credible source on the front of it in the YouTube world, for the people that are hanging on for answers for Summer Wells, this starts to sound very credible because it has the word credible on it, right? When in all actuality, it's misinformation, right? It's misinformation. So it's been all wound together and it's been made to be a mess, right? That's where I'm going with this. There's been no real deep thinking on it. And you know what? I've listened to different waypoints and Ryan's with Frank. And then I've listened to this a couple of different times. And I'm like, this is just a literal nightmare, right? Now, do I believe when you start to look at the scenario with Frank, he does start to make himself look credible. Now, I don't know if any of that or all of that is a lie. I don't know if any of that or all of it is true. But what I can tell you is they certainly have no issue talking openly about it. They sold the vehicle. It was a private sale. The truck was being driven around the area whimsically, right? No one was hiding it. No one was trying to conceal it. It wasn't repainted. It was just a slap a hood on it, put a bed liner in it, and roll kind of deal, right? Right. So I don't know. Like I'm at that point where it's just this scratching and clawing for the effervescent content, right? Like I don't pay no bills with YouTube funds. I don't depend on YouTube funds. If I don't want to go live, I don't go live, right? When I go live now, it's to suggest that there's a bad actor or two involved in the furtherance of some sort of misinformation, right? So let me go ahead here. Let's jump back over here.
I mean, it's that simple. I remember it was at a house in Bailiffin for a long time. I remember seeing it like sitting there. Like,
so not only was it seen at a gas station, it was also seen sitting at a house. Does that sound like the behavior? Now, we're taking it for face value. Does that sound like someone who is trying to conceal a vehicle that was used in a missing child's case where there is no evidence of an abduction? There's no evidence of an abduction. This person is driving this truck around the area. They're sitting here. It's over here. They're not hiding it. Like if you can drive by wherever this vehicle was parked at and see it, they're not hiding it. Right? Now, in the realm of possibility, could it be possible that this person who bought the vehicle does not know that there's a red truck being sought in the disappearance of Summer Wells? Now, in the early stages, I don't know how they classify the truck. Now, in the early stages, they were very adamant by saying that this person's not a suspect, that this person could have been a witness, right? Now, is that factual and actual? Police will say a little bit of everything or anything, right? So, moving forward.
After you sold it, after your dad sold it.
Yeah, after he sold it. It sat there for a long time. And then I seen the guy at the gas station and talked to him just a brief moment, and he just listed all the things he got to replace on it, and just it looked a lot better than it did. A whole lot better, actually.
So you had actually talked to him about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 5 minutes.
Now, you start to talk about the physical appearance of the truck. And what's important about that is it seems as if there could have been, I'm just going to use the terminology, scars, tattoos are identifying marks on the truck, right? All of a sudden now he's changed a bunch of things. He's done this, and it looks a whole lot better. He's never going to tell you that he painted the truck. The truck's the same color, right? Not that I've heard anyways to this point. So it's very interesting when you get back over here to this.
That the Toyota Tacoma was tracked down by the FBI. Remember I said it was an FBI tip that led them to...
Now, why would the FBI have to come looking for something that's just been parked in what sounds like a driveway or a front yard? Yeah, Flossie, right? Doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. And let's not believe if the South American angle, the Southern American angle is an angle. Let's not try to believe for this period of time that the vehicle is just readily open for the public to see it and view it, that they have to wait for it to go to South America in order to get some hot tip, right? Let's also not believe for a moment that anybody in that general vicinity, I don't know what radius, I can't tell you that, but let's not believe for a moment that the police haven't extinguished the DMV database looking for red Tacomas and the owners of the red Tacomas and their addresses. We've not heard anywhere that someone has said, we've not heard Frank say, oh yeah, December of 2021, they came knocking on our door because, well, dad or whomever had a red Tacoma that was registered to this address. Don't you think it would? Now maybe that's in a perfect world. That is the sort of work that detectives can do sitting at the desk. They don't have to run the roads in rural East Tennessee looking for a vehicle just randomly, happenstance, right? They run the database and they find out where the vehicle is or where these vehicles are or aren't. And then they shoot somebody out there to go take a look at it, right? I mean, make it make sense, right? This is not rocket science, okay? This is the way that it works. Also, right. Pencil pushers. There you go. They're tracking down leads. Of course, you heard the detective say, tracking down every lead. Good ones, bad ones, everything in between. This is a lead that they can track on their own. Listen, why do you have to ask for the public's help in identifying red Tacomas in the area when you have a database available to you that you can just start punching in red Tacoma and then a year, make, and model, and then just start from there? Now, one thing that we do know is that there was it's okay, Chasing, that they have utilized cellular information and data from the very early onset. Pretty Pink Girl, thanks so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me, baby. Thank you. All that green grass. They were utilizing cellular data, right? If you believe Don, and I believe Don when he made this comment, that he would run into people in the community who had said, hey, yeah, man, guess what? Police came knocking on my door. Why? Well, because they were running through pings, cellular pings, and saw that I was loosely in the area, right? So don't you think that if they had a ping, a cellular data ping from someone who is related to someone else who owns a red Tacoma, bam, wouldn't that make you hot knocking on a door? Come on now. They don't even have to put outside pants on and leave the house to find that truck way before it was driving narco terrorists around a whole different country. Make it make sense. But so here we are, present time. And we've got YouTubers telling you they have very credible sources on FBI tips. Right? Right. Make that make sense. Well, Kathy, I think initially it may have, started to look like they were onto something, right? But let's flash forward to today. What we have today is still nothing fruitful, nothing bountiful from the search on Van Hill. That doesn't mean there won't be at some time, right? But I think that you also maybe would start hearing whispers or rumors from the community saying, hey man, Frank, Paul, all them, man, they're acting fishy now. They're moving, they're whatever, right? You're not hearing any of that. At least I haven't heard that there's been any change. It's they came, they tore up the place, and then life returned back to what it was, right? It did. It brought a momentary, a glancing blow of hope. And then now we're back to it, right? Now, I'm not going to go all into it, but there's been YouTubers that have continued to make what they call tips. And I'm just going to leave that right there. It does seem very fishy, right?
Van Hill Road. It was tracked down. And whatever evidence they found in there made them search the property.
Now, whatever evidence was in this red truck led them to Van Hill, right? Well, wait a minute. You're going to hear over here on Ryan's that they had a warrant for a red truck. Why do you have a warrant for something you've already tracked down? Make it make sense, right? Why has it taken them 5 years to track down a red truck that's been parked in a driveway visible from, I guess, what is the road? This person is driving it to the gas station, right? Like, make it make sense. This person then gets it utilizes it for its usefulness, And then bam, they sell it to someone else. And then allegedly, and he says he has a theory on how this vehicle ends up in South America. They certainly did not go to South America to mess with this truck. The vehicle was not impounded at any time. From what we know, there was no impounding of this vehicle before it made it to South America. Now, very easy to track the change of ownership on the vehicle. Theoretically, if whoever bought it in between the hills in South America, they registered the vehicle. So in the database, it shows it changing hands. Right. Everyone on the tube was looking for red vehicles. They're scouring Google Maps looking for red vehicles. Right. Moving forward.
The 3500 block of Van Hill Road. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Tuesday morning, the 27th of January.
Now, what's dangerous about this sort of thing is that if you're to believe, now I'm just going to say it, if you're to believe Frank and Michelle, no matter which angle you believe, what each of them are telling you, stop looking for the red truck. Stop looking for it. Right? The search for the red truck is over. We have found the red truck. Now, if you believe Frank's angle essentially is that that's not the truck at all. It didn't even meet the BOLO. If you believe Michelle's angle, Michelle's was made right around that time, but before Frank came on and gave his piece about the truck. So she clearly didn't have in my opinion, it's apparent she did not have a credible FBI tip. She didn't. Or else she would know what Frank knew, and Frank was there. Right? Frank was right there. So let's go back over here.
It's in parking lot. Like, listen,
This is a person who lives in the neighborhood.
I don't know. It was parked at that house, and then after
So it's just parked at a house.
seen it after I seen it at the gas station and talked to the guy, I never noticed it at the house again. So
your dad did the sale. You don't know who he sold it to.
no.
Frank describes the situation as a 400,000-mile work truck that was sold locally and likely ended up in a well-known export pipeline to the south.
Now, this whole South American thing, if you are from if you live anywhere near the interstate, any of the exits, the truck stops, it's not uncommon to see a Toyota or a Nissan pickup.
See that same thing all the time. All the time, headed south. All the time. They'll take the bumpers off the cars, they'll hook them together, bumper will be crammed in the back somewhere, and it's off down south, right? All the time.
We're used towing another one, and in the bed of them, there'll be either stuff like boxes moving, or sometimes four-wheelers, motorcycles, whatever, and they're in tow and they're headed south. Why
do they do that?
Well, you can't take lump sums of money over the border, can you?
Well, that's how they bring money. Their payment that they are.
Now, I'm not suggesting that the vehicle has been used in anything nefarious. That's not what I'm here to say at all. The VIN number would be in the database. If that vehicle would have been located and it was the vehicle, right? You got to understand all the pieces and how it would actually work. Not this YouTube gloss over, right? Like, they found the vehicle. Where's it impounded at? You are associating your information to the Hill residence. So you've made the associative claim that this red truck is the same red truck involved with the Hills, right? If it's been found, how did it make it to South America? Allegedly, it would have been impounded for a forensic comb over, right? It would have it would have been impounded, right? And that community is so small. Let's think a little deeper, right? Let's say the person that Paul sold it to, he gets jammed with the truck, right? Are we to believe that this credible FBI source that that Michelle has a hold to would just be this open-ended claim, right? Well, they found the truck. It's not been impounded. It hasn't been forensically looked over. And that person who bought the truck secondhand also hasn't reached back out to Paul or Frank and saying, wait a minute, you got me jammed up in something here. I just bought a truck from you. Now the people are over here kicking my door in, dismantling my house over a truck I bought from you. I didn't have nothing to do with that. We would have heard about that a long time ago. You know we would have. And I tell you how. When Ryan goes to talk to Frank, Frank tells Ryan, oh yeah, guess what? The truck, it was the truck, but it wasn't involved in anything nefarious. And in fact, the person that bought it second, because it would have had to have been found out while it was still in Tennessee. Nobody's looking for this vehicle actively outside of Eastern Tennessee, let alone even Nashville, Knoxville. They're not. They're looking for that vehicle in that area, in the surrounding far East Tennessee area, right? So what you've come to realize is that this one here doesn't have credible tips at all. That's what you've come to realize. And you don't have to break it down. I didn't need no pen or paper to do this. It's not hard. It isn't hard at all to figure out that she doesn't have any credible information about this vehicle, and that whomever is misinforming Jankies is also misinforming her because they got the same information. But nothing, right? Now, maybe in a perfect world, this person who gets jammed up with the truck because it's been found, they jump on the internet and they're like, hey, man, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But at the very least, this person who bought the truck post offense day would have reached back out to the Hills and been like, hey, man, police are looking for you. Or they came over my house about this truck. They took the truck. You hear me? They took the truck. They got it. You see what I'm saying? That isn't in the story anywhere. The truck allegedly meets its final destination. Where? South America. And I think that I've thoroughly debunked everything that she there she is over here, that she said fully. Now, I didn't necessarily have to use a whole lot of this to do it, right? You're using common sense. You're using the clues. You're using the clues that she's given, that the information she's given you. And you said, well, that can't be. Because if it were, it would be this, and this as well. And it's none of those other things. So this is BS. This is clout chasing. This is the spread of misinformation, right? Now, I'll probably break it down a little bit further at some later date because really what I'm after an explanation. Now, I know that this lady has a web. She's got a network. Somebody's going to tell her about this that we're doing tonight. And I'm guessing there'll be some response. If there's not a response, well, then guess what? There's just not a response. And that silence would speak volumes, right? Now, that's it. That, Danny, is key. It's key, right? Even when whomever was in possession of the vehicle on the 15th, right? It was said this person is not a suspect. They have no evidence of an abduction. So quite naturally, if there's no evidence of an abduction, they have no outside suspects other than the ball of yarn on Ben Hill. That's it. They have nothing to push them out further than that. And that person, whomever was in possession of the vehicle that day, is only sought for questioning as a witness. Nothing else. Right? Nothing else. It had white buckets in the back and allegedly a ladder rack, right? And then there's been tons of different misinformation about that's it. There's been tons of information about ladder racks here, or somebody going by here and they're taking a ladder rack off of that. And I don't care about none of that because it hasn't been fruitful. It's just been low-hanging fruit to talk about on YouTube. That's it, right? So, moving forward, I think we understand that this gal here is one of the chief offenders in spreading misinformation, and that where is the beginning and where is the end, right? Where's the start and where's the finish of it, right? I think that it's pretty clear. Also, I mentioned this in a prior live stream, like this lady doesn't even live in our country. That doesn't mean she's exempt to talking to resources or sources of information, but I think we've dwindled it down to the fact that she says she has information, but she actually doesn't. She says she has credible sources, but she actually doesn't. Come to find out, right? Now, moving forward. This is also Summer Wells related. We're going to get to her too. We may be here for another hour or so. It's pretty clear Michelle is in the dark. Absolutely. And you know what? Ever since she came out, didn't it used to be called Michelle Walks or something? She changed it to After Dark. And you know, the first thing that popped into my mind is like the 16-year-old me and the Cinemax After Dark. Tell me I ain't lying. Cinemax After Dark. I know you guys know. When I put it in that context, it means a whole different thing, right? Hey, Miss T, good to see you, baby. Okay, she has like 3. Skinamax. That's what it makes you think, right? Woo. Yeah, no, a lot of you probably did. I ain't forgot about it at all, baby. You hear me? All right, moving forward. This is where we get into the 2 peas in a pod, right? Because I think spreading misinformation like that is equally as dangerous as our next contestant on the on the misinformation wheel. Okay. Now, what you're going to hear here, and Tina, I know you're listening, baby. Maybe you can help me answer some questions before I really got to break it down and answer these questions for us. Right? Okay. Yeah, no, I did too. And it was about the time that she started taking information of mine and spinning her own web like it was hers. I was like, yeah, no, that's an issue. There's certainly an integrity issue there, right? If you're not going to say, hey, this is Ryan Fine's Truth video. I played it. Shouts out to Ryan. Or this came from Janky's channel. Shouts out to Janky. You know what I'm saying? No, you're going to take something abstract like information and spin it and then push it as a narrative on your channel and not give credit to the person. Like we've already been there, we've done that, right? It is it's plagiarism, but in the digital sense. I don't know if there's a different terminology for it. It's like it's like libel is the written version of slander. I don't know what the digital version of plagiarism is. Maybe it's just simply plagiarism. All right, moving forward. Since Mr. Shell's in the news, this is a problem. Tina, come over here, gal. Let's answer this, right? Because I remembered it once Sarah, and shouts out to Sarah. If you're not subscribed to the Artsy Ninja, I don't know what it is you doing with your life. You hear me? I really don't. Put her link right here. Sub up to, that's it, Golden Mom. Sub up to Sarah the Artsy Ninja. She does a wide array of different content. She does body cam stuff. She does Ernie stuff. And with the Ernie angle, I appreciate the fact that she has resurfaced a lot of this stuff here, right? Now, what you're getting ready to hear, you're going to hear one side of it. And once I heard it, I immediately remembered it, because what it was a call that was staged between Debo. Some of you know who Debo is. Some of you don't. Debo is Tina Simmerly's digital best friend. She is also the one that brought charges against Mr. Shell for SA, but then later didn't show up to court, right? Ray, some people call him Way. Ray, it's Debo and Ray. It's a staged call. I remember distinctly that someone unpitched the call, and you realize it's absolutely Debo, right? People didn't know who Way was back then. They do now, right? Because he surfaced in a lot of this stuff. In fact, I spoke about him the other day. Ray was the one who on Tina's panel claimed he was on his way to Massachusetts to visit Ernie and wear a GoPro camera, right? Same guy. Now, what's interesting about Ray is Ray thinks that he can rewrite history by telling a different story. Ray, who was incarcerated for up to 18 months in federal penitentiary for making a threat against President Obama, a threat on his life, we'll say, right? So Tina, when confronted with the idea that in her hunt, which let me tell you what, I see a synonymous thread between Tina and Ernie. And do you know what that thread is? It is people who are 100% consumed with child trafficking. And the beast that propels child trafficking, right? We're not trafficking children to make them work in tire shops or, knit clothes or cook in kitchens. And I'm tiptoeing around this, right? We understand that people traffic children for one thing typically, right? And that is for sex offenders, right? Or for a network of people who will engage in devilish, inappropriate acts with children, right? Now, Debo, who is this person who claims that she has been involved in many missing persons cases and in fact has been involved in finding some. She also does disaster relief for FEMA. She is tied to the hip with Tina Simmerly, and Tina obsesses about all the dynamics of child trafficking every single day. You could tell her anything. You could lightly tell her anything. I mean, Tina believes Ernie was on androchrome when he did all this stuff at Chris and Marky's house, right? Now, I don't even want to search this, but here we go. Right? Androchrome is a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline with a molar mass of 179.17 and a density of blah, blah, blah. It was researched between the 50s and the 70s as a potential cause of schizophrenia, though this is not a mainstream medical consensus. It, i.e., or rather, AKA, it's a conspiracy. It is not a drug of abuse or psychoactive substance as often portrayed in popular culture, Tina. All you had to do was do this amount, right? What it essentially means is when adrenaline ages, right? Oxidation is synonymous with rust, right? When something oxidizes, its finish changes or the compound of it changes. So it's when adrenaline rusts, when adrenaline is old, when it has met the half-life and it's on the way out, right? So that doesn't mean it cannot be recreated in a lab. The compound, the molecular compounds can't be synthetically derived, right? But that's not the contention of Tina and Weiwei. Their contention is that it's harvested from children. Okay? That it's harvested from children. Tina, I know you're watching. Just come on over here and don't hide from this. That means you live forever. The Woohooju. Yeah. The Woohooju juice. Now, coming back over here. What you have to ask yourself is, why is Debo, all the things I've told you, why is she involved in a staged call with Weiwei, who made a threat on the life of President Obama, who was found with firearms, badges, cameras, body armor, all the things that Ernie wished he had, but says he does. Weiwei actually had it. People have called ahead in his locale and talked with the police, and that the police have said that he is a goof, basically. He's a goofball. We'll just say he's a problem. Hold on one second. Can you send me the video really quick? It won't let me. I don't have a way to copy the movie scene is from Fear. It won't let me copy from the comment. Hunter S. Todd adapted into a movie. Okay, we'll wait 1 minute. Okay, there we go. Hold on one moment here. Okay. Here we go. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get jammed up for this. Let's go ahead and do that. Benicio del Toro, absolutely a genius. Johnny Depp, not related to Ernie Shell in any way. Absolutely genius. Genius. Just a taste. Just a bump. Oops. Hold on. Let me refresh this to get the audio back. Hold on one second. Okay. Is she here? Feel free to feel free to come up here and lie to me and take my mind off the truth, Tina. I would love it. In fact, I did a video the other day, which she's probably not real super enthused about. She claimed that I am the reason I am to be blamed for the downfall of Mr. Shell. That's it. Right? They thought way back in the hunt for something to cure schizophrenia that was it. But come to find out, it wasn't. It has no psychoactive properties. It does not get you high, right? And so it essentially is just, listen, all it is all it is. It is just oxidized adrenaline. It's all it is. It's nothing more, nothing less. Right? And you can understand that. You ever seen a rusted car? For the most part, when a car rusts, what does that mean? Its usefulness has just about run out. Anytime something oxidizes, the usefulness is not what it once was. And I have to say that it's biological waste, right? That's like saying feces is useful. Now, unless you're a cow or a horse, you know what I mean? It's not useful for what Tina thinks it's useful for. And in fact, they found no medicinal use for it to this point. Right? Hey, Crystal, good to see you, baby. Right. I mean, there was a time that Tina said that I told someone that I put the child in question tonight in a dog cage and threw the dog cage in a lake. That's what she said. Now, when confronted with it, she'll pass the buck and say, "Oh, well, that's what such and such said." There you go, Lila. All right, moving forward. Where are we at here?
What is this? That stuff makes pure mescaline seem like ginger beer, man. Adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome?
Hello. Hi, Lucy. God bless. Yeah, it's me. What? Hell no. I taught the a lesson you'll never forget. What?
Let's move forward. These are the kind of people right here. These are the kind of people that think adrenochrome is something useful. Do they look familiar to anyone we know wandering around these streets? You hear me? Okay. There we go. All right. Let's go over here. Okay, back to this. So this call, you can't really hear way too well because whomever, and I'm guessing Debo, whomever recorded this thing, right, got the male end really low. And the female end, Joe Biden told him, the female end is audible, right? So understanding the backlog or the backstory of this call, Ernie Shell, I'm guessing, and Flossie may, or Sarah may know the backstory a little better than I can remember, but it had to have been during the time Ernie Shell was staying, the 6 weeks Ernie Shell was staying at Debo's house. Either this call was derived or he may have come across the call by going through her devices and stole the call, repitched it, and repurposed it. Now, what you have to try to figure out is why does this call even exist? For what reason? I can't think of any good reason why Wayway and why Debo would get involved in this, and that Tina wouldn't be so outspoken about it and say, hey, this is crazy wrong, right? Moving forward. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the audio from this video, please. What's up, Matthew? How you doing, buddy? Now, what's gross is that Ernie Shell is spinning the male portion of the male caller as being one of Don Wells's friends that got caught in one of his invisible stings, right? I mean, make that make sense, right? This is all in furtherance of trying to make people believe that Don Wells, without evidence, had something to do with the demise of his daughter with a hammer, right? Now, also understanding that Ernie Shell publicly showed a video where some kids from Southern Asia somewhere were hit on the head with hatchets, and that he called that general awareness. Does anybody remember that? You hear him? Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and, okay. I'm going to. Okay. Where are we at here? Here we go. Is this the right one? Yeah, this is it. Okay, let me back it up just a little bit.
Our CPP team.
Chicken wings undecided. We got enough ones to start it.
We have many, many decoys, as we did in Predator Hunter Nation. Our CPP team, our decoys.
Now, to take it even a little deeper, like this activity right here is what Ernie Shell lied to a court about, saying that he does. He saves children, right? Meanwhile, what he's actually involved in, he's actually involved in evading police for a warrant, because at this time he was hiding. Debo is hiding him in her house. She alleges that he assaults her. And meanwhile, they're making spoof mock calls about a missing girl being met her demise with a hammer by her dad. And now he's using all of this to convince a judge somewhere in Massachusetts that he saves kids. Also on the line is a federal, someone that has a federal conviction for death threats against President Obama. Okay? Like, this is for real. This has actually happened. So what you understand is that either Ernie was there when the call was made, derived, or Ernie wasn't there, and that Debo and Wayway have decided they're going to mock a call. And the whole premise of it really leans into the idea that Debo, Ray, Tina, and Ernie were all involved with this together. Lone Star. Okay, there you go, Mr. Nobody. So Ray we'll call him Smith, because if I say anything, if I use his real last name and show you his face and the things he's done, they'll privacy strike the video, right? So Ray, Debo, Ernie, and Tina. Now, Tina's going to tell you she helped Ernie get to Debo's, but publicly their relationship was on the rocks, right? But all four of these people, hey, again, good to see you, baby. All four of these people who publicly scream that they're for the kids are actually here mocking calls, and that Weiwei, a federal convict, is actually one of Don Wells' best friends that was caught in an enticement sting, right? I mean, that's scary. All of that is scary. And that this situation alone should be the very reason why Tina, Ernie, Debo, and Ray should never say they're helping any kids do anything whatsoever. Let's listen.
That we've come up with in just the very last couple weeks. I'll check it out. I'll check it out, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's something in it. We'll check it out here. Thank you. And I appreciate to the person that sent me this and got all this information for me. Thank you so much.
Debo, Ray, Tina, that's his team, right? Now, what you also have to understand is that this he passed it off to a bunch of fractured idiots. Because if this had even the hint or the seasoning of being real, you would expect that someone here would say, hey, oh, well, actually, the beautiful C'est La Vie, bam. Did you send this to the TBI, Ernie? Of course not. Absolutely not, because then Debo, Weiwei, Tina, and himself are now all in the grease and probably being investigated as to why you felt it necessary to do this, right? Like Don Wells wasn't this silent companion to all of this mess on the internet. He was very vocal at this time. So now these four get together and they think this is a great idea. Holy cow.
Let's read this right here. Somebody didn't pay attention to the vocabulary, but at LT, Summer got fawn at the hands of her parents. Candace told it on when she said someone lured her away. She told her to go down so that Don could lure her out. Well, you can believe that. But according to one of Don Wells' best friends, who's also a criminal who got caught in one of our sting operations here today. He got caught today. Today he got caught today. Today he got caught. So we'll play that here in a second with everybody. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to come in. And the challenge wasn't weak. It wasn't nothing to it. Here, let me put that up.
Now, what's really sad about all this is the fact that this was not well thought out at all. What he did was he took, and I'm an audio guy. You guys all know that. He took the call in its entirety and pitched it one way. Instead of taking Debo and pitching her one way and then cutting it and taking the male portion, which would have took a little work, and then pitching him one way. That way you couldn't take the call in its entirety and just unpitch it and hear both voices. Does that make sense to you? You're going to isolate the male caller and the female caller and pitch them differently. You're right, Ebert. He didn't. He pitched the whole call one way. So it was very easy just to put the whole call in and unpitch it.
Nana C made a fool out of herself. I put these little things up here for you guys to unfold.
Now, Tina, I know you're around because you were just over at DGens, right? You were just over there and you were dogging Ernie out. But when you come around me, you make it my fault Ernie is the way he is. So you're watching. Make no mistake. I know you're here. Thank you, seriously. Way. You're right. 100%, Mr. Nobody. And Mr. Nobody, he messes with audio, he messes with video, and you understand what you would have is all the female parts, all the male parts. And you're just going to pitch the male one way and pitch the female one way. No, he put the whole call and just pitched the whole thing one way, right? So Sarah says he deliberately altered this video to manipulate it and use it as a tool for grift for a laptop, phone, resources under the guise of solving the Summer Wells case. There you go. Nothing more, nothing less.
Hey, that's pretty cool, pretty smart, but it's easy to do. It's simple. It's very, very simple. This same man, I call it, who got today. I'll release information tonight. I released information tonight about one to Jen.
Now, he just told you this guy was caught today. Caught today. Let's just pick an approximate time. 3 p.m. he's caught. I don't know. Could have been 9 a.m. Who cares? But you're picking a day he's caught. They make contact with him off whatever app. They make the call. Ernie has to have time to pitch the call. Then he has to upload the call. Then he has to come live and report the call. Never, not one time taking into an account that if this was legitimate, you wouldn't bring it to the line. Now, what's also dangerous with this is it's equally the same dangerous as what Michelle did with the red truck. If these idiots, and there's a few over there, we know the idiots that are always over there, right? Christine, Beloved, Tiger Lori, so on and so forth. You guys know the regular cast of bad actors over there, right? They knew this was BS, but they helped sell it in the chat here. They helped sell it to the unsuspecting, right? So if you believe this, what you have now is a ramp of calls of people who are actually concerned. They call TBI saying, Ernie Shell's got the proof, right? He's got it. He's got the proof. And that now, potentially, if any idiot from that area in Tennessee believes this, they're not looking for her anymore. They feel like they've already been exposed to the finality of what happened to her, right? Now, we know this has all been deleted. This is so far gone. He thinks people forgot about it. Meanwhile, if this was real and true, every single time he talked about Summer Wells, he wouldn't have to superimpose numbers on her flesh. He wouldn't have to say that his go-to is, if I had resources, I could solve Summer Wells. He's also said that if it weren't for the drama, he would solve Summer Wells' case. Well, if you let this tell it, you already solved it. So why do you feel the need to solve it for two different mechanisms, right? This is deplorable, is what this is. It doesn't get any worse than this. He would play it out as a sting call, and that this person, who is actually Way Smith, act as if he was one of Don Wells' best friends that got caught in the sting, and that he had primal knowledge, firsthand knowledge of what Don did to Summer, and that Don would have had to have told him, and that this guy kept the secret, right? You following me?
Got, but
How the hell can you see my eyes on here? Aren't I tiny?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. Without ado, let's listen to this 2-minute video.
Hey, sorry about that. I dropped my phone. Okay. Okay. Listen, anyways, all right. Anyways, what I was saying, remember when you talked to Don Wells and he told you Candace killed Summer?
Hey, Linda.
That's Debo. Somebody took the time and unpitched this call, and it's Debo, and it's Ray, right? Ray Ray is also the same guy that's going to tell you that there was 200 kids that were left dead on an island somewhere and that he saw it, right? Tina, fire up a live at any time and explain this to us. There you go, behind green eyes. Slowed it down. Yeah, no, that's the thing, Lila. Those idiots make me look good. I'm not that good. I'm really not. Homie, I agree. I'm not. I'm just a critical thinker. Right? I'm just a critical thinker. And that all of this is so deplorable. Right? Now, you guys want to take a quick break real quick? And I show you something else? How about this? How about this is a conversation? I'm not going to show you his sister's email or email address, and I can't navigate unless I open up another tab and show you just mine. But I asked his sister. She said Ernie's been gay for over 15 years. I won't read this, right? He didn't get it by falling on a bag of needles, and that he did, in fact, infect MAGA. Hey, Beth, good to see you, baby. Now, do you believe it? I don't know. It certainly seems very credible, and I'll tell you why. Because, God, I don't want to get her. She's probably asleep. My mother is right here. She can hear everything I'm saying. Ernie Shell called me, said he was sick. It's the blowfish situation, right? Ernie Shell calls and said that a year ago, almost to the day, him and MAGA were at a gala for law enforcement, always law enforcement, and that they ate some improperly cooked blowfish, right? And that a year later, they get sick, right? And he wants her opinion on what it is or what he should do, yada, yada, yada. He goes on to say she was sick as well. Now, it's the very fancy the dinner story. Remember the blowfish, right? Thank you, Miss Beth. Love you, baby. That was, I asked like 3 questions. And it was when the whole HIV thing came back, I shifted my focus back to MAGA, right? Immediately shifted right back. And it was always on my mind, right? Like, I am in agreement. He made the MAGA channel years ago, and I'm in agreement that it's probably not her, that it's him, and that it's either him or a group of these tiger weirdos who have access to that account, who come in and act like they're upset with Ernie, but ultimately won't snap it, won't just get to it, right? So, yeah, everyone remembers the blowfish story, right? We've heard him say that there was and be looking out. Me and Noel, we're going to be doing, I believe our next scheduled stream is going to be about grief and grief management. I think we've both kind of agreed that that's a big thing, and that a lot of times grief can lead people back down old roads to old things and old places. And so I think that that's what our next expose will be about together, is grief and grief management. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack with all of our communications, but he has allegedly says here eating puffer fish or fugu in the U.S. is tightly regulated, with importation generally prohibited except for specifically authorized, certified, safe, and properly processed products served in licensed high-end Japanese restaurants. The fish contains tetrodotoxin TTX, a lethal heat-stable neurotoxin, making improper preparation fatal. So, where do we end? Improperly prepared fugu doesn't take a year to kill you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Flossie. So, yeah, absolutely. And I think it'll be sometime next week. We haven't figured out the day yet, but be looking for it next week. The MAGA account always pops up when he has a cold adventure. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. Mr. Nobody's paying attention. You hear me? Mr. Nobody's paying attention in class. You dig? So you've got all of these different dynamics, and there is a pathology to it, right? And the pathology is one of the pathologies for Cole Adventures is that he does not disclose his HIV status, right? He does not. So very, very, very poignant that you pick that up. You pick up a lot of Ernie stuff, but anytime he's, one of the things I didn't listen to a lot of DGens. I listened to enough to be disgusted, but not one time did we hear anything about substance abuse. Right? Not one time did we hear that any of this behavior might be a byproduct of substance abuse. We're just going to lean towards the fact that no one that would be high would rub poop all over them. Have to be a mental situation. Hey, Izzy Pop, good to see you, baby. Had to be a mental situation, right? And that there isn't a long-standing history of stimulant use, right, on the record from police officers. He's admitted to it. Drug tests, his own family in the police report saying he's an intravenous user, right? Now, and you know what's interesting, homie? They're the only two people that must have ate it at the whole gala. The only two. And that the premeditation it would take to try to come up with a story. Why are you asking me to ask my mom, who's only a nurse? MAGA is a doctor. Why are you not asking a doctor? Make that make sense. Moving forward.
Again, he's presented this as it's some sort of a sting, and he's doing something with this call for the Summer case.
Well, supposedly it's going around on the internet that Candace said that Dawn killed her with a hammer. Really? Well, who knows? Didn't he try to sell his first 2 kids, I heard?
Now, I'm not going to go deep into this thing, as you could be expecting a live stream with me and Sarah here in the very near future where we cover a lot of this. And in fact, this whole thing, a lot of us already know the lore, have heard the stuff. I heard it all, but it was so long ago that Ernie thinks it's been buried in time. And then you fast forward to this, and this is Ricky Beavers. I know you guys remember Ricky. He's a blind country singer. Ricky is, I just fast forwarded it to the spot where Jody Sue comes on. Ricky's saying this case is about to be blown wide open. And that's all. It's all his opinion based upon this call that Ernie Shell has put out, right? Now, Oh, there. Mama T. Please feel free to answer what you know about, because you know the whole intestines of the whole gig here. What do you know about this call? Right? I know you knew. I know somebody clipped this. Chica, somebody. You knew about this call. Right? And I'm going to give you some grace to say that if you didn't know about this call before this call happened, show me where you denounced this after the fact, because this wasn't enough for you to stop messing with Ernie. You kept on messing with Ernie after you knew this call was Fugazi. Now, this isn't a personal attack. He called in JLRs today. Thank you for joining us, Miss Amber. Thank you, baby. Make that make sense. This is just one instance in a long string of terrible, vile, deplorable things Mama T knew about, right? Now we're holier than thou, and I get it. People can change. People have the propensity to change. I won't take that away from her. I know she's seen the light now in her newfound hunt for YouTube content that doesn't have anything to do with Ernie or Blaine Katie or Nick or any of the Mean Girls, whatever, you know. But we'll listen to a little bit of this.
Hello, Jody Sue.
Hi, Sparkler Pussy. How's it going?
If you didn't catch it, he's the Lightning Tiger. But she calls him the Sparkler Cat. The Sparkler Pussy. Forgot all about this. This is classic content.
Sparkler Pussy. Are you talking about Ricky? Ricky, you a Sparkler Pussy these days?
Hi.
Mute out, brother. Mute out.
So I have some questions.
Mute out, Beavers. I'm just kind of piecing it all together. We got a Sparkler Pussy and Mr. Beavers. You can't make this up. Oh my God. You got Beavers, Sparkler Pussy, and JSB. This is a bang up. This is a bang up panel. Celebrity guests.
Ernie, you said we're going to do this in a civil manner, right? Today we're going to be civil.
Just doing the civil matter. Let me pull my seat up here, Jody.
Probably a good idea, Ernie.
Go ahead.
Pull his seat up. We know what that's code word for, but we can't say it over here like that because, you know, we're rated PG here. So these two men who were busted for CP were Don's friends. That's what's dangerous about this. That's what's dangerous about this. And that shouts out to Jody Sue. She came over here and you know what she wanted? She wanted to hear the call unpitched. She wanted to hear the real call. What do you think Ernie said? No effing way that's going to happen. He should have said, Jody, you just wait till Behind the Green Eyes unpitches the call for us. Then you'll know who did it, right? Oh, boy.
It is probably a good idea.
Probably is.
Oh, let me yawn right good. Let me stretch a little.
One of those I'm a liar and uncomfortable yawns.
A little bit. Go ahead there, Jody. You can lead it out there.
So I have a couple questions, Ernie.
Turn the light on. We don't see your eyes. I don't have to look at people when I'm talking to them.
While he's behind an avatar grinding on somebody's polyester seat that he either stole or is squatting on.
What about
you,
Ernie?
Jurassic Park? Is that Jurassic Park on your shirt there?
Yeah, Ernie, it is. Where you're at?
She won't play. She handles Ernie how I would handle Ernie. Like, yeah, no, Ernie, that's cute, but let's stay on task here, right? Let's not try to dog walk this thing into a talk about Tyrannosaurus Rexes or colorfully painted Ford Explorers. We're not going to go over there, Ernie. We're going to stay right here where I want you. That's what we're not going to do.
It is. Where are your eyeballs? Are you up from behind the icon?
Yeah, I'm actually in my icon.
Father, forgive me for I'm about to sin. Where's Ricky Beaver's eyeballs? Huh? Ricky, let's see your eyeballs. Let's see your eyes, Ricky. The only reason I'm poking fun at him is because he's over here promoting this BS. If you weren't over here with Ernie Shell, Ricky, I want to call him Ricky's small woodland animal. Ricky Beavers, we wouldn't be talking about your eyes if you weren't over here with this stuff. Oh, God. Forgive me, Lord, for I know not what I do.
On here, that's me right there. But go ahead.
But are
All right,
you?
I love candles. Candles represent so more. So much. Candles does.
Lame. I'm not going to go there. What we do want to, let's see your eyes, Ricky. Oh boy. Ricky, tell us what the candles mean to you. Well, we want to keep our eyes on, Ricky. Is Mama T over here in the chat? Because I don't know what she will all day. God. And how Jake's be going to eat him up. Not literally, but figuratively. Now, I'm not going to go too far into this thing because I want to save this for Sarah. Lock it in. Oh, boy. PG has her own make-believe baby to worry about. She don't need to be over here dealing with these folk. You hear me?
All right, this one's lavender and chamomile. I don't know what that says.
I love that smell. Smell it. That way you get your senses all cleared up.
Ernie,
Really
I have a question.
Lavender's great. Go ahead.
What have you ever done that has helped in any way with? Have you found any actual evidence? How many times you been here, boots on the ground, Ernie? Boots on the ground. How many times you been here and actually found anything? And say those caves with weird cell phone signal that don't exist in Beach Creek.
Y'all asked Candace about the cadaver dogs that searched while Don was in jail. She always has these weird interjections, right? And the lack of punctuation in and of itself means something. Ooh, hot off the press. What do we got here? Ooh-wee. Okay, let's do this here.
Oh, well, I thought when Summer went missing that they were having meth parties over there. That's what some of the neighbors said.
I don't believe everything that's being said because I talk to Don on a regular basis.
Yeah. Well, what did Dawn say? How did she even kill Summer?
Strangulation.
Oh, because it's on the internet that Dawn killed her with a hammer.
It's only on the internet with those details because of Skern Dog. That's the only reason. Nobody else didn't say nothing like that nowhere. You hear me? Not one person. Thank you, BGE.
Oh, well, I thought when Summer went missing that they were having meth parties over there. That's what some of the neighbors said.
I don't believe everything that's being said because I talk to Don on a regular basis.
You can clearly hear the speech impediment, right? I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you can clearly hear the speech impediment. That's Weiwei. That's the guy who threatened the life of Barack Obama and went to prison for 18 months for that. 1. Yeah. Tina, you can't hide from this, baby. I mean, you can, because if you hide from it for 2 or 3 days, guess what? Some other idiot is going to take the stage and jump from the frying pan into the skillet, and then you won't have to answer about it. Then you can run around here and you can act naive and you can play dumb. I mean, you do that well with the androchrome and all the sex trafficking stuff with children that you just, I mean, I don't know nothing about Pizzagate other than it wasn't a thing, right? And they've debunked all of that, and that you truly believe it's so you truly believe it so much. You went to Washington, D.C. to investigate it yourself, you weirdo. Like, God forbid. Okay, thank you, Lisa. God forbid children to Tina appear to be good for one thing and one thing only, and that is trafficking. Like, she sits around and obsesses. Ernie did the same thing. Can you imagine what those conversations must have been like when he was living with them? Like, weeks long and months long, one conversation, always about sex trafficking and children. Always. No, I agree, Mr. Nobody. I've listened to some, and I think that there's some really far out bad stuff there, right? But even as bad as that presents itself to be in reality, it's still not enough for Tina. She's going to take it way out there further to something different. It's bad enough all on its own, right? Yeah. They would sit there, their whole life is about sexualizing children, right? I mean, find some people that actually do that kind of work in real life. They can sit and have a conversation about it without sexualizing children every chance they get. I mean, every chance. Slow Terry here? Probably. Yeah, every conversation that Tina is going to have online it's just going to end up with sexualizing children and compromising situations about sex trafficking. There's just no two ways around it. I think we've all seen the very distasteful pictures that Candace had posted of Summer in the past. I'm not going to go into the description of them, but how he would take these things while he was intoxicated, and he would play with the curves and the gamma on the pictures for hours and hours and hours. And that if in this alternate universe, these pictures with little girls in their undergarments with no shirts on, them in those in and of themselves are probably in some places considered CP. Slow Terry is saying that Don said that to Smiley, so it absolutely must be true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Well, what did Dawn say? Like, how did she even kill Summer?
Strangulation.
Oh, because it's on the internet.
Ray, you ought to be ashamed. You should still be ashamed of yourself. And then picking up from today forward, you should remain ashamed for doing this. Debo, like, we know you're dumb. You're on probation for a DUI offense. And what do? New Year's Eve, you live stream yourself in a bar. You ain't supposed to be in no bar. And as an alcoholic, we know you ain't at no bar, just a live stream stuff hanging from the ceiling, baby. Y'all are no hope, no luck for the future. You hear me?
That Dawn killed her with a hammer.
There was no blood splatter, no sign of murder or anything like that.
That's it, Mr. Nobody.
Strangulation with the belt. The mother strangled her daughter with a belt in the past. It's something she wouldn't do.
But
now what's interesting is that Way, he's going to convince you at different points throughout his appearances on YouTube that what? He brought dogs, right? Did Way bring dogs to Ben Hill to search? Yeah, Lila. Yeah. He claimed he brought dogs to Ben Hill. So he brings dogs. That is fruitful and renders him nothing. He's going to claim he's one of the first ones there. And that now all of a sudden he's caught in a sting call. Like, this is the sting right here. This is the sting that these idiots, there's a long-standing history of this same kind of garbage, right?
she won't tell where Summer's body is.
And that Debo, Way, and Tina are absolutely against the LARP, right, folks? They're against it when Ernie's LARPing, but when they're involved in the LARP, they have no problem in it. Now, I'll tell you this. You have to understand the motivation, right, for pitching the call. The motivation for pitching the call is to not identify the people that Ernie's working with. Ernie's working with these people.
Because the body depicts.
Oh, that's disgusting and gross.
He got off that.
Oh, well, I thought when Summer went missing that they were having meth parties over there. That's what some of the neighbors said.
I don't believe everything that's being said because I talk to Don on a regular basis.
Yeah. Well, what did Dawn say? Like, how did she even kill Summer?
You are foul, Debo. You're foul. Again, you may be right. You may be exactly right. But I haven't ever heard Tina publicly chastise Debo for this behavior, or Ray. In fact, she's thick as thieves with both of them still. Right? So, yeah. Now, imagine for a moment if Benny Keys was the Way. They'd have ran me off the internet, right? Hooah. They'd have ran me straight off. Wouldn't be no way back around it. Yeah. You can't make none of this make sense, right? This is the most extreme type of misinformation, right? Yeah, right. The most extreme type. Of misinformation. This is far more extreme than anything that that Michelle has done. But nonetheless, it's misinformation in the hunt for a missing child, right? It's a child that detectives say there is no evidence of an abduction. There's no evidence she walked off the property either. There's no evidence. Now, is there actually evidence? I'm sure. Do we need to hear it? No, because look at how this community does any information it does get, or it makes up its own. And this is of the worst type, right? So I think that that's really as deep as I want to go. Thank you, BG. Let's listen to the rest of this.
Strangulation.
Oh, because it's on the internet that Don killed her with a hammer.
There was no blood splatter, no sign of murder or anything like that.
Ray, you're the worst. Debo, you're the worst. Ernie, you are equally as despicable, maybe a little less than them in this situation, but overall, highly despicable, right? I mean, I'm sitting here trying to figure out what is even the payoff of this. This is, again, you're right. This is some deplorable stuff that PG would sling out there, and she would get 200 of her cronies with fractured deficits to believe that this is real. And that this is the thing. Nothing ever comes of what they say. Ever. Nothing ever comes behind this and say, hey, listen, front page, WJHL, Ernie Shell, Debo, and Way, they were exactly right. They solved the case. I'm guessing this is a personal, and just going to context clue it, and then we'll get out of here. I'm going to guess this is definitely a personal vendetta, right? I'm guessing if Way actually went to Tennessee, which, like again said, we've never seen any proof he was there. If he did go or attempted to contact Don Wells and Don wasn't having it, now all of a sudden you have a motive for a weirdo who threatened the life of a president and went to prison for 18 months. Now you have a motive for him to do things like this against Don Wells and Candace, right? You also know that in the beginning, Ernie Shell and Tina definitely has a motivator to hate me and Don Wells, right? And make up this sort of stuff. Because why? Because Ernie made it very public, and you never show the internet your hand. Ernie said that he had a interview with Don Wells later on one evening. Well, don't you know, we just got on the horn and said, Don, don't mess with this guy. He is a real weirdo. And Don canceled the interview. That's what the motivation is for Ernie Shell hating me all this time. Tina, that's the motivator for Tina Simmerly to hate me all this time, because they didn't get to continue their LARP. But they would have never been able to explain to you why they were at Volunteer Racetrack saying that the sheriff told them the scent their dog is on is confirmed Summer Wells, and that all of this little racetrack junk that's in the parking lot is actually evidence for Summer Wells. They didn't call it in. They're going to tell you that the sheriff was there and that they confirmed this was the trail, but the sheriff is going to let their dog run the trail and let Ernie, Xander, and Tina pick up evidence of a missing girl with their bare hands and put it in Ziploc bags. Yes, sir. That's the motivation. The motivation is that they were made to look like complete space cadets on the internet in front of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people at that time. That's when the followers were crazy large. Videos were getting 20 and 30 and 40,000 views on my old channels, right? Anyways, that's all I have. And you know, I don't want to go any deeper into the stuff that I know that Sarah wants to cover. I would be honored. I don't want to parcel out Ryan's stuff. If you want to go listen to it in its entirety and you have not already, here's the link to that. It is, let me pull this down. This is the link for that. And let me see, where's BGE? BGE, if you're not subscribed to BGE, please go subscribe. BGE, oops, wrong one. BGE is actually behind Green Eyes. She actually lives in the greater Tucson area, and she is actively doing what she can that's not like JLR in some of the others, right? So she is doing the Nancy Guthrie thing. She's on scene sometimes. And so, yeah. So go check that up. And yeah, hit the like button if you haven't on your way out, please. It means the world to us. Let me go through these really quick. Dippy, thank you for becoming a new member. Paisley, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, sweetie. Raindrop, and Crybaby. Oh, I didn't even see you. Say, baby, thank you for your contribution, queen. You know it means the world to me, baby. Roswell for her 3rd month of membership. Petty Pink Girl for her contribution. And yeah, that's it. So gonna try, Tina, we're gonna try to get the oxidation off of me so that I'll be a little more fluent in my streaming, because I've been gone for quite a while. So I do appreciate everyone for coming. And my email address, can somebody put my email address in the chat log? It's benlindsay94@gmail.com. And if you have any information, if you have information about the whereabouts of Summer Wells, contact 1-800-TBI or tips to TBI@tn.gov. I don't take tips. I don't funnel tips. If you have information about bad actors in true crime, please let me know, because that's more the focus. If you can see the trend, I'm just focused on covering bad actors, right? Exploring misinformation and debunking it. I'm not here to actively talk about the next 5 minutes in any missing person or true crimes case. So with that being said, thank you all for joining me. It means the world to me. And I'll see you on the next one.
This is another Real Track production. Real Track, real.
I can see straight through the fuckery. Nigga know what's up with me. Yeah. Niggas know not to fuck with me. Real shit, only no fuckery. Thought they bitch wanna fuck on me, so she can go and tell that's the fuckery. If it ain't out there, that's the fuckery. I'm pulling back up with the fuckery. Yeah, bitch ain't no fucking me. You owe me, you ducking me, that is that fuckery. Yeah, stick on me ugly. Bitch ain't no touching me, 30 for fuckery. Nah, that is that fuckery. That is that fuckery, fuckery. Yeah, that is that fuckery. That is that fuckery. Yeah, I can't let you pay me for a pussy. You owe me, then pay me, or I am a pussy. Yeah, you probably feel off, huh? But I can't let you feel like it took you. Nope, not the way you had a nigga looking. Need my money on my work when I call you play hooking. Yeah, you ain't keep it G. You ain't keep it G, nigga. All you did is try to hit me with the fuckery, nigga. Yeah. Never about to hit and feed niggas. No. I was just trying to feed niggas. Yeah. Cause I was just trying to eat, nigga. But I can't let you think I'm sweet, nigga. Okay. Yeah. I ain't type to look for beef, nigga. Nope. But I ain't looking just to please, nigga. Yeah. Got the pipe on my hip, got some pressure built up. I'm a motherfucker squeezing. Yeah. Man, fuck making peace with you. I'll try and make some cheese with you. Yeah, man, I feel like we equal. Pull up, old raggedy vehicle. I'm shooting at whoever be with you. I wouldn't want to be with you. I'ma kill a nigga, smoke weed with you. Same nigga like to be a seed with you. 30-round clip for your pussy ass. Then you get the picture. Thought this bitch wanna fuck on me. That ain't gon' happen though. Back in the trap and I'm stacking though. No time to chill with no ratchet hoe. Unless you gon' traffic though. No fuckery. She talk back, I smack her throat. Tell that hoe pack the coat. Bitch, get your back and go get out the fucking door.